Discovered my girlfriend's non-consensual video online, causing her a breakdown, and now I'm trapped supporting her through recovery. An acquaintance contacts me through a close friend and shows me a video of her infidelity he found on a porn site. I confront her about it and she goes into a mental breakdown. She didn't consent being videoed and they tell the police about it. Her family, parents and older sister, are handling that. She's still an emotional wreck and needs me to handle her anxiety and depressive episodes. I want to end the relationship but help her anyways until I'm sure she won't do anything drastic. Almost 3 weeks ago a good friend of mine, Alex, and an acquaintance, Mike, got hold of a video of my girlfriend, Jamie, fucking another man. Mike found this browsing through porn sites with niche themes and by chance, recognized Jamie, got into contact with Alex about it where both of them told me about the infidelity. When Alex and Mike told me of the infidelity, I went somewhere between shock and numb. I couldn't really say anything until I saw the video where I proceeded to puke my guts out. I couldn't even sit through a minute of it. The fact that it was edited to go straight into the action with Jamie's face clearly visible didn't help. We drove Mike home and Alex had good sense to force me to spend the night at his place rather than go home where I share an apartment with Jamie with no idea how that would end. We shared some beers mostly in silence. Alex did try to make me open up on what I felt about Jamie's infidelity, but I was just numb. I didn't know what I felt and told him so. I felt like wading through water with no thought in mind other than what was in front of me. Alex didn't force anymore and I passed out some time later. When I woke up, I recovered enough sense to realize that our relationship was most likely over. I go straight home through public transport, most likely brooding and or looking pissed. I wonder what the other passengers thought when they saw me looking like shit while trying to emulate Batman. I get home and catch her getting ready to go out, asked me where I was and why I didn't contact her. I don't bother answering and just told her we needed to talk. We sit down facing each other on our kitchen table that we built from scratch in my grandfather's farm and that random thought pretty much broke the dam. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of harsh words was said, accusations, and blame. Too many details to describe but essentially, I immediately broke down in tears and asked her how the fuck she could ruin this relationship we worked so hard on. She's confused and wanted an explanation. I drop the bomb and show the video. She cries, begs for forgiveness, but I hear nothing. More crying and cursing until I tell her that we're over. That was it and she just shuts off? She slumped down and closed her eyes, still crying, but says nothing. This gets me out of anger and I try to figure out what she's doing. Talking to her, hard and gentle prodding, nothing. Absolutely unresponsive, so I just drag her to our bed and lay her there. I go back to our kitchen and call her parents, Alice and Julio. I simply told them they needed to come and that their daughter is suffering a mental breakdown. I say nothing more than just telling them that they needed to see us and that what was happening needed to be face to face to explain. I shut my phone off, go back to kitchen and think about what the hell just happened. Her parents rushed to our apartment demanding WTF happened. I don't tell them about Jamie's infidelity but just say she needed mental help. She's on the bed acting comatose but otherwise, okay. They couldn't bring her out of it and eventually I had to explain. I didn't want to do it without Jamie being able to explain herself. I showed them the video and they're heartbroken, told them we had an argument. I didn't hurt her, but she probably couldn't handle the stress and broke down. They decide to bring Jamie to her university's mental health clinic. I decide not to go with them. The next day, Jamie eventually wakes up. She's stable and responsive. There, she says that the video was not consented. Her family decide to report this to cybercrime police. Jamie's family don't grill her with her mental state being the way it is, but her parents are obviously ashamed and aren't sure what to do other than what the psychologist recommends, which is to let Jamie rest for a while and support her until they're sure she doesn't implode. Then was sent home to her parents. This was all relayed to me by her older sister, Jackie, who's trying to be the mediator. She asked me if I really was going to end the relationship. I respond that I'm not sure if we can even salvage it. 2 days later, Jamie's parents ask me to visit them for a talk. I agree and go the next day. Jamie's parents, and her older sister are present. We go to their living room and sit down. They looked sad and tired and I felt the same. Jamie will be the last topic of our talk. First is me. They wanted my parents to be involved. I feel disrespected as we're already adults plus me and my father are tense but I relent as I'm already tired and a bit out of my depth. Marriage was in discussion in the past after all. Finally, we talk about Jamie. She's stuck in her room, miserable and ashamed, otherwise, okay. She'll stay with her parents for now. When she's needed by the police she can stay with Jackie in a hotel. They understand that I needed space. They've submitted a report to our cities. They live 1 to 2 hours away in the suburbs, cybercrime office. I'm needed for the investigation. I explained that I wasn't the one who found the video, but I'll try to get Mike involved. They apologize for Jamie, but I tell them she's the one who needed to apologize and that they shouldn't baby her. They agree but beg me not to argue right now since Jamie may relapse. They explain her psychologist assessment. Spontaneous nervous breakdown, no history of mental illness, concluded to be caused by accumulated stress from her studies and acute stress reaction from our argument. She needs rest in a safe environment. Psych almost called the police on me but they convinced them not to and with no physical trauma observed, gave up. The discussion devolved to apologizing, tears from Alice especially, and other noise. but they did want to take charge of everything. The investigation, Jamie's well-being, her education and finances, etc. I was kinda washed off of everything. 8 days later, Alice calls me in the middle of the night begging me to see Jamie. Depressive episode, kitchen knife, locked in the bathroom yelling for me. Worst hour of my life. I'm pretty sure I almost died twice on the road and glad that my country isn't developed enough for highway cameras. I meet Alice and Jackie outside the house waiting for me. Jamie has mostly calmed and Julio's with her in her room. They beg me to go see her, and with how bad the situation looked, I rushed to Jamie. She's a fucking wreck, looked like her blood's been drained and hasn't slept for a while. She starts crying the moment she sees me and reaches out her arms. Whatever anger, exhaustion, and anxiety melted away and I embrace her. She kept apologizing and begging for me to stay. I shush her and hold her tight. She eventually goes to sleep and I take a moment to think about what's happening. I genuinely felt heartbroken seeing her like this. This is not how I thought we'll be together in the future, much less this Christmas. I am losing my best friend and would have been partner for life. This was the person who helped me through my depression when even my own family dismissed it. She's even the one who made me make journals to help process what I go through. It's actually ironic how she's the reason how good I can write down details on her affair and how bad it affected me. She's not evil. She's a beautiful, patient, and overall wonderful human being. Thinking of all the stuff we've been through, what we've done for each other, if I were to list all of it would probably reach twice the word count for my post. I love her and was prepared to be with her for life and face everything that comes with it. And she destroyed that. I wake up before her and go to the kitchen for coffee. Jackie is there and explains that she's had episodes twice before and this was the worst yet. All of us except Jamie talk on what to do. Alice is in chemo for breast cancer, Julio runs a business 20 minutes away, Jackie's workplace is already hounding her, and Jamie needs help. The situation is fucked and everyone is exhausted. Jamie needs therapy. I implied mental institution and then almost got my head torn off, but no one can look after her 24/7. They asked me to reschedule the inevitable and try to help her. There were definitely some emotional manipulation, but they are desperate. Due to my obvious lingering attachment and my own respect and love for these people, I agree. This is where I fucked up. I go home, talk to Mike about the investigation, he agrees to talk to the police. I call Alex and explain all the BS happening. He warns me that this didn't sound like the right call, a mental institution was probably the best, and I'm just gonna get hurt. Regardless, he'll still stand by my decision and to call when I need him. I love this guy. I've already scheduled a consultation for therapy and Jamie will have a different one scheduled 3 days from now in my city. I just want to take a really long nap and get away from all this. Update 1. So, it's been over 2 weeks since my last post where I got proceeded to get my ass handed to me. I'm not complaining, you guys were right, I do need to leave and start living my own life. A lot has actually happened since then, but thankfully most of it's boring, sad and disappointing. Got myself a behavioral therapist, which something I should have done a long time ago. I have different problems unrelated to this that Jamie did help me through most, but a professional really does make a difference. Gave me a lot of hard questions, important questions, that forced me to put my life into perspective. It was liberating experience. Finally talked with my own family about this. For context, I'm not very close with my actual parents, particularly with my father. Broken home and all that. I consider my aunts, my father's 4 sisters, who stepped up to take care of me as a child, to be my real parents. So if I mention family, I really mean just my 4 moms. Turns out, they were more involved than I thought. Jamie talks to them, she loved talking with them about me and our relationship, they got closer for it too. She asked so many questions about me, what I liked, food, hobbies, what my childhood was like. She'd ask advice from them about so many things. What to do when I get pissy, how to get my ass moving, all that cute stuff. Around a year ago, when they noticed that I started acting positively when they played around with the topic of marriage, Jamie and my family started to get ready. 3 of them have families with at least 3 children each, so to help ease the accommodation, they saved money to pay for themselves, and anything extra goes to the wedding, to us and whatever after. They even talked about engagement rings. Calling them disappointed is an understatement. With the bullshit happening now, they opted to give me half of what they saved for the marriage to help me out, and also offered to take me back again, which truly is a massive help. My biggest problem this whole time was a source of income. I didn't have a job lined up out of my city, still don't, and my savings are meager. With all that settled, I gave my employer my resignation letter, cancelled my lease, and have by the end of the month to sort my affairs. I'm leaving for good. As for Jamie, I've gradually stepped out of whatever's been happening with her and around her. Talked with her family, or more like told them that I'm leaving. Gave them info about psychiatric hold and made them handle her appointments with her psychologist and whatever else she needs. It was a sad affair, really. I know it doesn't seem like it, especially with Alice and Julio making me stay and take care of Jamie, but this is a first time for all of us. They raised 4 great kids, their relationships are great, and they even extended that to me even when they barely knew me. Jamie fucked up the worst, and this isn't something anyone can expect anyone else to handle with ease and grace. I mourned my loss of a potential family that I could have been proud to be with. For the posse who filmed her, I still haven't confronted her about it, but Mike and Jackie shared what she told the police and how the investigation's going. It was a Korean national she says she met on social media for a fling. She said they only fucked once, but that was immediately shot down. The video showed two different, distinct rooms and got pressured to admit where it was in case they can get anything like CCTV, social media posts, logbooks, witnesses etc., and that they did. One hotel still had recordings that day, two hotels with logbooks containing names and dates, and their DMs. She didn't mention rape, blackmail, or drugs in play, only mild intoxication, which was all obvious in the video apparently. Everything but the recording was consented. There were some possible routes to take in terms of damages, but when a lawyer got contacted, it was pretty much dead on the water. POS being a Korean national currently in Korea muddied the legal waters. They can do nothing else other than contact relevant Korean authorities, gather as much evidence and wait. But the lawyer wasn't confident anything might stick. As far as they know, they have no evidence that it was even POS who set up the cameras beyond that POS stayed the night before and the cameras are obviously long since gone. There are far too many angles POS can play to delay or even win any lawsuit that reaches him. It will be most likely expensive, drawn out, and with very little chance of winning. So they gave up that route. POS is getting off scotch-free. Why'd Jamie do it? I don't know. Before, I didn't have the guts to ask her. Now it doesn't really matter. I'm not as exhausted as before and my mind's been clearer. I'm leaving for good regardless of why she did it. I can just walk straight out with no explanation or maybe leave a letter for her, thanking her for the wonderful time we spent together, the love we shared, and a final goodbye. I'm romantic like that. Still, I've decided to handle this with as much grace as I can. I'll help when worst comes to worst, don't lay blame on myself or her family, and not even mount pressure on Jamie for ruining everything. Not for Jamie but for my own twisted sense of self-gratification that I did all what can be expected and more. I will leave with my back straight and nose held high. Funnily enough, this did eventually show me how lucky I am despite everything. Yes, the love of my life cheated on me and had the audacity to throw a tantrum over it. My future's looking a little bleak. I found out so much repressed anxiety and anger from my shitty childhood. But I'm still doing pretty great. I have family that loves me, friends that have my back, and despite her betrayal, brought the best out of me with wonderful memories along with it. I have nothing to be ashamed of, and can say with pride that I was a wonderful boyfriend. Hopefully this will be my last update, if not, the next to be far more boring and less mouthy. Update 2. The world doesn't really feel new, even when you're living in a different city. 3 weeks ago I loaded the last of my boxes into my aunt's van, said goodbye to the apartment Jamie and I shared, and left behind all the weird, heavy air that's been choking me for months. I thought it would feel like breaking out of jail, but there's way less relief, just exhaustion and silence. I moved in with my 4 moms temporarily. My aunts treat me like some wounded animal they might accidentally fix with casseroles and smothering. Honestly, they're lifesavers. My younger cousins keep dropping by, dragging me along to badminton or karaoke nights. I force myself to show up. Group therapy's been the real anchor. There are maybe 8 of us on a good day, all broken in different ways, and it makes my mess feel more ordinary. I expected to slog through my story, but the first time I shared, the speaker after me, a widower who lost his wife in a car crash, just looked up and said, "Yeah, we're all here because someone left us in pieces." There's that. The point is, my life's rebuilding, little by little. I've got a new job in the city. Small company, decent people, nobody who knew the old me or my chaos. I chose to block Jamie's number after the move. I set my phone to do not disturb, scrubbed our shared accounts, told her family I couldn't be involved anymore. I even locked down all my socials and gave people the new address on a strictly need-to-know basis. The only loose thread was my work email. I forgot HR keeps it open a couple days after you're gone. It felt harmless. It wasn't. Monday night, I'm half watching TV, still sweating through my new employee anxiety, when I see my unread email count flashing. I open it instinctively, and there it is, a forwarded message, subject line in all caps, "Please help. Urgent." It's from Jackie, but as soon as I open it, it's clear Jamie wrote the whole thing. I see her phrasing immediately. There's panic in every line. Jamie said she's sorry to reach out, she isn't, but the old sex tape has surfaced again. This time, some anonymous freak has uploaded it to another scummy site, along with screenshots of threatening messages sent to both her and me, messages she pasted right into the email. The sender threatens to send the rest of the footage to my new workplace, to her university, family, and any public figure tied even loosely to us unless Jamie pays up. He named me directly. Says he has proof I helped hide what happened, whatever that means. I feel like my stomach has hit the floor. 2 minutes after I read it, my personal phone starts vibrating. It's Jackie. I almost don't answer, but I know she'll just keep calling. Jackie's voice is raw. "Listen, I know you blocked everyone. I wouldn't be telling you if I wasn't desperate. He's blackmailing Jamie again. He knows your name, your new city. He sent a list of your job contacts, she never gave him that. He must have something real. Police already dragged their feet before, but now they're actually moving. They need you. And..." She hesitates, and I hear bubbling anger. "He says he has footage we've never seen. He says Jamie lied about what happened. Something inside me twists. I want to bolt, to toss the phone off my balcony, to run from everything and everyone who shares a last name with Jamie. But my own name is in the crosshairs. After the call, I sit in the dark for a long time and just try to breathe. First thing Tuesday, a detective from my old city calls. The old cybercrime unit, now keenly interested. The threats escalated. We need your full account. Again, you saw the original leak, correct? The new material references things only someone close would know. You might be in danger yourself. Will you cooperate? It isn't really a request. I agree to 2 remote interviews, and that's my weak shot. I drag out everything: how we found the tape, the night I confronted Jamie, her breakdown, the first report, the clean break with her family. I'm on camera again, vulnerable, all those old doubts gnawing at my skin. I ask the detective, "Are you sure Jamie wasn't involved?" She blinks, then says, "We aren't sure of anything. We only know someone is trying to blow your lives up, and you're right in the blast radius." Later, the new video goes up for about 3 hours before disappearing, but not before copies start circulating. I haven't watched it, refuse to. But my name, and a work email signature from my old job, are visible in the attached threats. My new manager pulls me aside, concerned but not judgmental. "Someone's targeting you. Be careful what you put in writing." Corporate HR quietly asks for a meeting, just in case. So that's another anxiety spiral. Jackie keeps texting, desperation dissolving fast into anger, at Jamie, at me, at her parents, at herself. One day she sends, "If she was honest in the first place, none of this would have happened." And then follows up with, "Can we meet?" The next, it's "I think there's something she isn't saying about what really happened, who else was there." That's when Alex shows up at my flat. At first, I'm just glad to see a face that isn't sick with stress, but then he drops a nuclear bomb. He's been seeing Jackie for weeks. He tells me he likes her, is worried about what this is doing to Jamie's family, and that Jackie doesn't believe Jamie's side of the story, not anymore. She's convinced there's more, Alex says, thinks Jamie was out of control, maybe even agreed to some of what happened. Maybe this isn't all black and white. Jackie says the timeline doesn't add up, and now with these new threats, she thinks there's someone closer, someone who isn't a random dude from Korea. Alex looks apologetic, but he's also angry. I didn't expect to care about her. I want to help, but she's obsessed with finding out the truth, and it's dragging me, and now you, back into this. Sorry, man. And that's when I realize, every attempt to cut ties, to start over, to build something clean, keeps getting yanked back by a rope nobody bothered to untie. I'm sitting in my new apartment, drinking cold coffee, watching rain slide down my window, weighing the nightmare checklist. If I don't step in, the blackmailer could ruin both my job and what's left of my reputation. Jamie's family will be left drifting without support. Maybe an innocent person will get blamed for revenge porn. If I do jump back in, I'll get sucked into police interviews, old family drama, maybe even re-traumatized by whatever new footage or truth leaks out. And I might learn something about Jamie that finally destroys every last good memory I have of us. My therapist says I need to set boundaries, but right now I don't even know where to draw the line. That's when everything tilts. There's a knock at my new, unlisted door. There's no one there, but on the mat is a small padded envelope, no return address. Inside, a USB drive. And a post-it, in rough block letters, that just reads, "Tell the truth, or I will." Update 3. Sitting at my kitchen table, all I could hear was the refrigerator humming and my own pulse throbbing in my ears. I kept staring at the padded envelope, the USB drive inside it, and that post-it stuck on top, "Tell the truth, or I will." My hands wouldn't stop shaking, which was annoying, like my body was already trying to leap out a window before I could think straight. It was past midnight, but I had no shot at sleep. I thought about calling my therapist, but what was I supposed to say? "Hey, I'm being targeted by a possibly unhinged cyber blackmailer. Do you want to watch my ex's new sex tape with me for crisis support?" I even hovered over my new boss's contact in my phone for a bit, just imagining explaining how everything in my old life was poison and none of it was my fault. I didn't call. Of course I didn't. I spun the USB stick around in my hands for a while. Paranoia went in waves. Was this thing loaded with malware that would blow up my laptop? Was it a real threat, or just someone from Jamie's orbit trying to yank my chain yet again? Eventually, I booted up my laptop in a totally clean guest OS, a leftover habit from working in a place where everyone's grandma's bank info gets phished once a week. The folder was named Just Truth. Inside, 3 subfolders, all marked with random numbers. I braced myself and opened the first one. I almost vomited. There were 4 videos, each maybe 4 to 10 minutes long, clipped, shakily filmed, and sometimes blurry, but there was no mistaking what was happening. Jamie, over and over, and not just with the original guy we'd ID'd before. There was another man, shorter hair, always with his back to the camera. It made me feel sick, but that wasn't even the worst part, because the last clip, the one at the bottom, was clear as daylight, shot in a dimly lit hotel, phone propped on a nightstand, 2 people in the frame. One was Jamie. The other, even with just half his face and that stupid tattoo on his chest, was unmistakably Alex. I think I stopped being able to really see the screen after that. My brain just retreated somewhere cold and far away. The second subfolder was even more disturbing. Some of the same video files, but chopped up, stitched together, with garbled audio, overlaid with text messages. Photos of my old apartment with captions. Shots of my new building's front gate at dusk. 2 photos dated the day I moved in. My car's plate, blurred in the corner. The last subfolder was just a text file. I opened it. 5,000 in Bitcoin. 2 days. Or everyone gets to see. I know where you live. Tell Jamie. She owes too. Check attachment. There was an address. Mine, and a single blurry selfie, clearly taken across the street through a smudge on a windshield. My phone vibrated several times in a row while I sat there frozen, reading the demand over and over, my mouth totally dry. I emailed screenshots of everything to myself and yanked out the USB. I tried calling Alex first. Straight to voicemail, no ring, like he'd powered off or blocked me. I called again, same thing. No way, he just lost connection. My scalp fizzed in anger and confusion. Alex was in the tape. He and I were supposed to be clean slates to each other. I always thought, if anyone would have the guts to admit the dirt, it would be him. I texted, call me now. I know about the video. No response. I switched straight to Jackie. She picked up on the first ring, practically shrieked at me the second she heard my voice. Where's Alex? He's not answering me either, what's going on? Have you talked to Jamie? I asked back, because my mind was already skipping ahead, to the next fire. Jackie practically hyperventilated. That's what I was calling about, she's gone. She left after some screaming match with our parents, left just a note on her bed about ending things her way. We've told the police. No one's seen her for hours. She has her phone but won't answer. Now things were unraveling fast. I told Jackie straight, I got a USB here. Whoever's behind this has more videos, new ones. There's one of Alex. Do you get that? He's in it. This is bad. I could hear her breath catch. No, God, no, he told me he had nothing to do with any of it. Did you talk to him? He's MIA, Jamie's missing, my parents are losing it. I swear to God, if any of you knew, I cut her off. I just found out. I haven't slept in 2 days. I'm not lying to you. She was about to snap, I could feel it, but instead the call dropped. Right then, my phone started lighting up with call after call. Jamie's mom. Then Jamie, from an unknown number, broke through. I answered. There was a ton of noise behind her, traffic and voices, and she sounded ragged and out of breath. It's me, Jamie said, almost a whisper. Don't talk, listen. I know who it is. He's been behind it the whole time. Alex betrayed all of us. She started crying, her voice drowned out by a car horn. I should have told you everything. Then the call cut out. My jaw ached from clenching, my phone started pulsing again, Jackie's name flashing, then her mother's again, and then unknown. Everything was swirling, urgent texts from a dozen directions, snatches of conversation, accusations, pleas for help. In the span of half an hour, the world I'd tried to rebuild was yanked out from under me. I wasn't just haunted by Jamie's past, now my present, the new address, job, therapist, everything, was up for grabs. What hit hardest was the idea that Alex might have been involved from the start. He'd been the one to support me, the one I'd vented to, the one who told me Jackie was convinced the truth was hidden. What if he was the truth? Or was just as stuck as the rest of us? I sat down, and for several minutes the only sound was the rain ticking against the window. The phone was still buzzing with more notifications than it had ever seen. I picked up, scrolled through missed calls and messages, one from my manager, "Are you okay?" And a text from an unknown number, "Clock's ticking." Tick-tock. There was a brief, guttural fear that the blackmailer was watching me right now, maybe with eyes in the building or a car out front. I snapped all my curtains shut, then looked down at my laptop, still open to the folder of horrors. This thing was poison. Every possible move felt like inviting disaster, but I couldn't just wait for everything to blow up. I texted Jackie a single line, "I have to go to the police with this. It's beyond all of us now." Her reply came right away, "If you do that, everything's out. Is that what you really want?" I didn't answer. I kept turning that post-it over and over in my hands, rereading the block letters, "Tell the truth, or I will." As the sun started coming up, my phone buzzed with another message from an unknown number, a new video attachment. Jamie, filmed in some dingy room, last night, shaking, voice quivering, saying, "Please, please, I'll do what you want. Just don't hurt them. Please." I felt something finally break inside me. The 48-hour timer was halfway gone. I wasn't sure who I could trust anymore, not Alex, maybe not even Jackie, definitely not Jamie. For all I knew, I could be the next one on camera, begging for mercy I didn't deserve. But I knew I had to choose, go to the cops, expose every filthy secret, and risk it all for the slim chance at freedom, or try to survive another round of this nightmare and risk letting it devour me, and everyone I'd ever cared about. I checked the locks on every door and waited for the world to wake up, balancing on the razor edge between fight and flight, trust and fear, truth and survival. And as the day bled into another sleepless night, a single new text popped up, colder than anything before: "You're not the only one with secrets. If you talk to the cops, your family will pay." Attached, a forwarded clip. Jamie, somewhere unknown, sobbing into the camera. And behind her, in the corner, a shadow that looked an awful lot like Alex.